Hello guys, girls. We are back yet with another Primark video. It's kind of crazy what a long journey this is for me. Like, we have 2 Primarks left. So yeah, crazy. Obviously guys, the original video is pinned in the description. Please leave a original video like. Now, before we go, I have some pretty sad news. So unfortunately, the workplace I'm working for right now is pretty much filing for bankruptcy. So let's just say someone might receive an unemployment buff, but I will probably switch to non-office job. So my schedule might completely shift. So usually my schedule is Mondays, Fridays, 5 days a week. It's gonna be now 2 days, 2 nights, and 4 days off. So because of it, I'm not sure if I'll still, get that job I'm applying for. I'm going for an interview tomorrow, but there is a big possibility that I'm still thinking, but there's gonna be a new schedule of uploads, and it's gonna be only 1 video per week, which is maybe better because I'll be able to add a little bit more to it, I guess, more editing and stuff. But yeah, unfortunate news, but yeah. Now with all the sad news out of the way, we're gonna react to this video, which is honestly kinda very short. It's only 11 minutes, so yeah.
We have no room for hope. We plan and we act. Hope is for dreamers and poets. We have our will and our weapons, and we shall dictate our own fate.
First CORAX.
The Primarchs of his Imperium are heavily influenced by the planets and circumstances of their upbringing. Moulded on death worlds, feudal empires, and oppressive regimes, the Primarchs are akin in the methods in which they shouldered their respective burdens. Though many would resent their brothers' privileged positions, some would bear their struggle with quiet contemplation, and of all the Emperor's sons, a particular Primarch would incorporate his misfortune to forge his own ideals. Primarch of the 19th Legion of Adeptus Astartes, CORVUS CORAX. During the scattering of the Primarchs, CORVUS CORAX would land on the moon of Lycaeus.
Dude, I have to say, saying CORAX is so... I don't know, I just like saying it. CORAX.
Orbiting the planet of Kievar. The planet was more advanced than most others with which the Primarchs would inhabit. A forge world that gorged itself on the planet's plentiful minerals extracted from the non-atmospheric moon, its harvest mined by legions of slaves. Under the watch of heavily armoured guards, the slave labour would consist of criminals, workers who had underperformed on their work quotas, and political opponents of the ruling class.
Basically, I guess, Darktide veteran class really fits into this description.
One such slave, Nasturi Ephrenia, would discover the pale infant inside his capsule. The prisoners would raise the child in secret, naming him CORAX, translated from Lycaeus' dialect to mean the deliverer. As the Primarch grew, the slaves would teach him skills to defend himself and eventually fight back against their oppressors. Mastering urban warfare, close quarters combat, and demolitions, CORAX would become a fierce warrior. It would also be taught philosophical and political theory.
Oh wow, those slaves were kinda smart if they even taught him philosophy.
With CORAX's accelerated maturation, the slaves of Lycaeus would look to him as a symbol, the soon-to-be savior they had desperately waited for.
Yeah.
CORAX finally grew
I can already feel, dude, the amount of weights on his shoulders.
to be a fierce leader and began organizing the slave labor force into teams of freedom fighters.
It's like, basically, what comes to mind, it's like Angron, The Angron was also a slave, and he also, tried to do the rebellion, but Angron failed. I wonder how it's for CORAX.
With each skirmish, his resistance would amass stockpiles of weapons.
And again, it's a bit different. Angron had a bunch of slaves. CORAX probably has some trained slaves as well who have weapons.
And conceal caches amongst the camps, orchestrating guerrilla campaigns of psychological warfare, riots, and precision strikes. Breaking the morale of their oppressors and draining their garrisons of strength, the resistance numbers swelled, leading to their final assault. Strategically targeting the Lycaeus Defense Force's security points, CORAX would lure Kievar's rulers into a trap. Outmaneuvering the Lycaeus forces with his own battle-forged warriors, CORAX destroyed their supply lines and struck the 5 largest cities of Kievar with atomic mining charges. The charges snuck aboard transport shuttles, their detonation crippling Kievar's factories. Unable to construct materials and facing a critical loss of raw minerals, the tech guilds of Kievar collapsed, tearing themselves apart in the incitement of civil war. Thousands died.
So he basically, again, like the Angron analogy I had, like he basically succeeded.
Nuclear warfare cleansing the planet of its corrupt tyrants. And from the ashes of war, millions of freed slaves would celebrate their emancipation.
But again, half of those slaves, you know, like he said, they were criminals. You know, I don't think it's a good idea to let the criminals walk free. I know maybe I'm too harsh, but...
Renaming the moon of the Primarch's resistance, Deliverance. That same day, the Emperor of Mankind would arrive. Meeting with his long-lost son, he would converse with the Primarch for a day and a night, appointing him the Primarch of the 19th Legion on the condition that the Emperor would bring peace to Kievar.
Oh! Okay, so CORAX basically asked Emperor to help. So he won the war, but I think he didn't know himself what to do. Okay.
With the aid of the Adeptus Mechanicum, the world would be transformed. The Black Tower, which once housed the tyrannical guards of Lycaeus, redubbed as the Ravenspire. Fortress Monastery of the 19th Legion, the Raven Guard. Unleashed upon the enemies of the Imperium during the Great Crusade.
I also have to say, dude, these helmets grow on me. Like, I start to like them a lot.
The Raven Guard would prove to be masters of sabotage and strategy.
Oh yeah, and we all have like jetpacks. It's like, I think in Space Marine 2, it's like, who is Assault? Assault basically are like Raven Guard.
Regularly deployed
Assault class.
By the War Master Horus Lupercal to conduct covert operations, sabotage, infiltration, and lightning-fast precision strikes. At the Battle of Gate 42, CORAX would lose thousands of Astartes within his legion, most of which had been Terran-born.
Oh.
After the battle, Horus Lupercal and Corvus CORAX would never see eye to eye. Unable to reconcile their differences, CORAX would refuse to allow the War Master to command his forces. The Primarch's continued distrust of Terran-born Astartes had been bolstered, disgusted by their proclivity to enforce the Imperium's will via terror tactics akin to the 8th Legion, the Night Lords. CORAX would further hone his legion to uphold their duty to act as liberators of the oppressed, rather than tyrants hell-bent on accomplishing compliance of worlds by any means necessary. CORAX would send the remaining companies of his legion that were Terran-born to far-flung regions of unexplored space, further purging his legion's ranks of those not born on Deliverance. Despite this,
again, I feel like that's a bit unfair. Like, dude, some Astartes were, you know, Terran-born, and he's like, yeah, I don't trust you guys, go away.
Much to his chagrin, CORAX would often be compared to the Primarch of the Night Lords Legion, Conrad Kurz. Not only were the two Primarchs similar in appearance, but they also bore striking resemblance in their methods of waging war. CORAX would revile such comparisons as much as the Night Haunter.
But dude, in a sense, I see it, like, a little bit. I know, like, we're probably not as cruel as Night Lords, but I see it, like, the way they've, like, do everything. It's like similar, and at the same time, it's the opposite, you know?
At the notion his legion were akin to the Night Lords in their use of mass slaughter. During the Carinae Retribution, the two Primarchs would nearly come to blows over their differences. Yet with the intervention of Jago Sevatarian, first captain of the 8th Legion, no blood would be spilled that day.
Oh.
Yet rivers of blood would flow from the 19th Legion, with the betrayal of Istvan V. The Dropside Massacre of Istvan V would break the loyalist legions of the Iron Hands, Salamanders, and Raven Guard. Led by Ferrus Manus, Primarch of the Iron Hands, the loyalist legions would be slaughtered by the combined might of 8 traitor legions. Despite being severely outnumbered, the Raven Guard would endure. CORAX would face Primarch Lorgar of the Wordbearers Legion in single
Yeah, that's where he clawed his face, yeah?
combat, impaling him with his lightning claws, yet be prevented from landing the killing blow by Conrad Kurz. Kurz would injure the Raven Lord, yet CORAX would escape the battle, wounded, but alive. For the next 98 days, CORAX would leave his forces in a grueling guerrilla war. Yet through the cunning and unknowable intent of the Alpha Legion, Primarch Alfarius would allow the Raven Guard an opportunity to escape.
Huh, that's interesting, because I thought these guys are chaos, so what is their reasoning for helping Raven Guard to escape?
Quitting the Istvan system, CORAX would command his legion to return to Deliverance, whilst he would travel.
And also, just, this is off topic, this is so weird. Alpha Legion is the last Legion, but Alpha is like the first. So how come Alpha Legion is the last when
to Holy Terror to seek counsel with the Emperor. The Emperor knew that the 19th Legion, decimated by the Dropsite Massacre, was now unable to provide the much-needed force of arms to defend the Imperium. Providing CORVUS with a psychic vision, the Emperor would show his son the location of a laboratory which housed the infant Primarchs and held stores of their genome. Enduring through the laboratory's defensive system, known as the Labyrinth, CORAX would succeed in his task, retrieving the Primarch genomes and entrusting them to his newly appointed Chief Apothecary, Vicente VI. Implanting the genome into fresh recruits, with the aid of Mechanicum Genitor Nexin Orlandrias, Vicente would succeed. 500 war-ready Space Marines would be crafted.
Dude, it seems like 508 ain't that much, but dude, for like Raven Guard Legion, that's probably like insane amount of them.
In a matter of weeks. Yet the 20th Legion would show their hand, infiltrating the laboratory with the intent to steal the Raven Guard's newfound technology.
Oh!
Implanting the genome with a virus, the Alpha Legion would corrupt the newest recruits to the Raven Guard, preventing their Legion's recovery. Corvus Corax would utilize his remaining Legion forces to conduct surgical strikes of critical enemy weak points for the remainder of the heresy. Compensating for his Legion's small numbers, Corax would nonetheless aid the Loyalist forces by instigating uprisings within traitor-corrupted worlds, eventually mustering the disparate 19th Legion companies into a united force.
Oh.
When the embers of
Dude, I feel like all this video I can say is
heresy had finally died, Corvus would comply with the ruling of Rebute Gilliman of the Ultramarines to separate his remaining Legion into chapters. Deciding to end the lives of the mutated sons corrupted by the Alpha Legion and lock—
That's so sad. So he basically executed them, damn shot in the back.
himself within the Ravenspire to grieve at their loss.
At least he grieved, kinda. That's... Damn.
A year later, Corvus Corax would leave the Ravenspire and Deliverance, setting a course directly into the Eye of Terror.
Why?
Corax would exact his revenge for his fallen brothers, Ferrus Manus, Vulcan, and the
But that seems stupid. How he alone is trying to achieve this?
Imperium of Man itself. With exposure to the warp, Corvus
What the fuck?
Corax would be mutated by its strange powers, transforming into a creature of shadow. The being that had once been the Primarch of the Raven Guard would mete out retribution to the traitorous Wordbearers. Engaging in a duel with Lorgar,
So he basically became also not a chaos. He probably became chaos has demon princes, but he became a demon prince, but for loyalist side.
Aurelian, the warp-infused monster, would dominate the now demon prince of the Wordbearers. As Lorgar retreated from the battle, Corax would swear to kill his fallen brother, ending his tyranny and absolving his legion of their shame. His final words to his legion on the world of deliverance, a promise to prevent further ruin at the hands of his traitorous brothers. Never more.
Damn.
The first axiom of victory is to be other than where the enemy desire you to be. The first axiom of stealth is to be other than where the enemy believes you to be. The first axiom of freedom is that justice without force is powerless. Force without justice is tyranny. This has
Real
been
shit.
the tale of the great Imperium of Man, read by the Remembrancer.
Thank you, Remembrancer.
Thank you for supporting the month of Primarch. My next Vox transmissions shall elucidate the sons of the Imperium throughout the millennia. Those who are chosen are influenced by your voice. Speak the Imperial truth, and know no fear, for you are the subjects of his Imperium, and the grace of the Emperor lives within you.
Hell yeah. What a video. A bit unfortunate that it was kind of short, you know, so, but, you know, the most important information is the upbringing of the Primarch. You know, I think the way they met the Emperor, the way the Primarch intercepted and interacted with their legions, and what happened in the end. So I didn't know he basically became like a fucking... a big crow or a raven. That's cool. He's terrorizing Wargar, which is, I don't know if you guys seen my video. I liked Lorgar, so I guess Raven's terrorizing Mr. Wargar. Guys, as always, again, I repeat this, original video in description, okay? I don't know, as Wargar, not Wargar, damn, CORVUS CORAX, he's interesting, but again, I promised you guys in older video, I'll still try to do my Primarch tier list. I'm just thinking about the way I'm gonna do it now. If I really want to be honest, CORVUS CORAX also doesn't break into my top 10. Like, he's like, you know, he's interesting, but like, not, you know, he's not for me, you know, he's not my cup of tea, you know. I don't want to prolong this video, so guys, if you liked my reaction, please leave a like. If you didn't, well, you know, you can dislike it. If you'd like something to be changed, please let me know, and I'll try to make my videos better. I don't know. And have a nice day, guys and girls. Ciao, cacao.